welcome to the Liverpool Community Podcast. I'm your host, Chase Johnson Lynch, and sometimes we have to do what we call a do-over. I mean, it happens. I mean, what are we gonna do? But thankfully, we had a very understanding guest who was willing to come back and hang out with us. So we're happy to welcome our guest, Ange Davies from the Eco Therapy Group. Hi, Angela.
Hello. Lovely to be back with you. My pleasure.
It's great to be back with you, Angela, and everything. Even myself that makes all kind of mistakes. But I would like to say that what Angela has done, which is nobody has done before, is that she came bearing gifts.
She absolutely did. Actually, you've got to shout out to somebody else who did as well, Trace, because somebody else brought gifts last week.
Nobody can hear you, Phil.
Sophie Beatrice Cook brought the gifts, didn't she?
All right. You know what? She was our last guest, Phil. She did bring us some very interesting gifts from Milk Education and everything like that. So what we're letting people know is bring gifts.
Yeah. We've started a trend. You want to keep it going.
So Angela, she's done it on her own goodness of her heart. And now this is green tomato and fig chutney.
You say tomato, I say tomato. Let's call the whole thing off. I can feel a song coming on.
Americans and English, hey. But this looks really good. Is this fresh from the garden?
It is, yeah. We canned it and jarred it ourselves. So they were the glut of green tomatoes because they hadn't ripened towards the end of the season. And so we made some lovely chutney with it to waste nothing.
Waste nothing. What does it go with, I wonder?
Cheese, beautiful cheese.
It goes with cheese. Mm-hmm. It's sweet.
It's sweet.
Nice. And everything, because it's lunchtime after this show. So anyway, Angela has been here before. You don't know about it. So what we're going to do is we're going to just talk to her as if she hasn't been here. So Angela, the Eco Therapy Garden, right? You started this project in around 2018, just really before the pandemic. Mm-hmm. Because basically one would say that you had a vision, you saw a gap in the market. Yeah. Tell us about that, because this garden started out in Kirkby, so tell us about it.
Okay, so through my own experience of being outdoors, gardening, and also I was a mental health counsellor, so I was looking for something to specialise in, did a lot of research and found that just being outdoors really improves your mental health.
Yeah.
So that was it. I thought I would start a personalised programme of eco and talking therapy. So we do the eco therapy on the garden as a group for people to come, have a good time, grow, sit, build a community together. And then if we feel that people need a little bit more help, we will offer them some one-to-one talking therapy sessions.
And so basically, you just happen to come across a plot of land. I mean, it was like a half. What was it?
Half acre. Yeah.
A half an acre plot of land.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And everything. And you said, I wonder who I have to talk to about that. And then you went to the council, and then you said, I'm interested in, this half acre plot of land. And they just said, sure.
Yeah, well, yeah. They did just say sure. Sure.
They did.
At first.
It's just that simple.
Yeah. But then they said, can we have a business case?
Oh, now you ruined it.
Yeah, I know. But the initial was yes.
Yeah, exactly.
So we are based in Kirkby at the back of a primary healthcare centre and a community centre. So it's half acre plot of land. It was totally overgrown, hadn't been touched for 14 years. It had previously been a community garden for about a year. So there was some lovely plants there that really needed bringing back to life. Yeah. Trees, some hedgerows.
It was pretty overgrown.
It was very overgrown, yeah. We couldn't open the gates. So, yeah, we started last year. We got on site and we've transformed it within a year. We've had some wonderful growing space, some raised beds, making chutney. I think we won first prize in the Knowsley Flower Show for our broad beans.
Wow.
And third prize for our chutney.
Mm-hmm.
Award-winning chutney.
All right,
not
all
just
right.
regular any
that,
chutney.
We know that chutney is good. You know, I mean, now, I mean, what's great about this is that because it's like you would probably consider this more of a community-led project, wouldn't you? I
Yeah.
mean, like it's more, you know, like volunteer based
Yeah.
and everything like that. You know, so it's not just people getting together just because like they're having a coffee chat and you're helping them with their mental health. You're getting them outdoors. You have older people as well as younger people as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. We range from age 7 to 70 plus,
Yeah.
and people are learning new skills as well. You know, they're learning to grow their own food,
Well, that's a help.
which is just what we need in the middle of a cost of living crisis. And we were talking before a tomato shortage. You know, get out there, grow your own.
No, this tomato shortage. I don't watch the news too much, but all I know is I went to the supermarket and I was trying to just get myself some tomatoes for my mozzarella, you know what I mean? And then they said there are no tomatoes. And I'm like, what do you mean there's no tomatoes?
Yeah, no
Crazy,
tomatoes.
isn't it?
Yeah. So
But
you
then
know,
you plan on solving this issue too by
yeah, we are gonna.
what is it that you said you were gonna spearhead this tomato growing project?
Yeah, we are going to grow loads of tomatoes. So if anyone's looking for tomatoes in the summer, come to us and we'll have plenty.
Right. So obviously we're going to give you a way of finding the Eco Therapy Garden and everything else like that. But that, I mean, again, that's like seeing the gap in the market, seeing a
Yeah.
need, isn't it? You know, I mean, I just think that's fantastic. Now the deal is that also too is what I was asking you about was even though you set this project up, you know, most projects need funding.
Yeah.
And, you know, like you were talking about being funded by Nosy Council.
Yeah, we got a startup grant from Knowsley Council. We've also done some projects around men's mental health, so that came from Knowsley Council too, a grant about, and also from Public Health England. And we did a growing project that spearheaded our Did It Grow, Will It Grow veg plots,
Which is the Heritage Fund.
which the Heritage Fund, the Lottery Heritage Fund, yeah. So we've been very lucky to have those pots of funds to get us going.
But I mean, like, that sounded really interesting because when you say "Did it grow? Will it grow?" then you had to figure out, well, okay, what can we grow?
Yeah. Well, where we are in Kirkby was all agricultural land in the 50s and prior. So when it was a new town and people came from the slums to Liverpool to build a new town, you know, people came, they had gardens for the first time, so they started growing. So we've got the farmers growing, we've got the new residents. And so we just wanted to bring that history together and see what people were growing throughout the time and what we can grow now. So we grew some heritage seeds, we grew carrots and tomatoes and lettuce, and yeah, really good crop we got.
And this went down with a hoot, didn't it?
It went down with a hoot, yeah. And all the food that we grow, we donated to local food banks, or we put it in our garden gate pantry so people can just, you know, if they need food, they can just take food.
Yeah. But you had a lot of good recommendations about this is the best thing I ever tasted because of, it was, what'd you say, it was the naturalness or it was a less chemicalness?
Well, yeah, we don't use any chemicals, so it's all organic.
Yeah.
And those particular seeds were heritage seeds, so they're the kind of food that people were eating 50 years ago. So one elderly lady said, I haven't tasted carrots like this since the war. And that's because, you know, people didn't use a lot of chemicals then when they were growing, and they were grown more locally, and, you know, the seeds were heritage seeds.
I could just imagine, like, especially when, like, you're dealing with a lot of mature people, you know, it's not because we were talking about, you know, getting down on your knees and sticking your hands in the dirt. But, like, these are probably people who you're taking them back in time.
Yeah.
In a way, you know, like with a sense of food resourcing, which I think is just very interesting. So let's talk about some of your like powerful friends. You know, like well, I don't know, the Queen. You know, the Queen had given you a tree of trees.
Yeah, it's...
And everything. That was a really interesting story. What's the story behind that? Because I know you when you told me the story initially, it was about 30 trees, and they gave you one of them or something like that.
Yeah, so Her Majesty the late Queen, for a Jubilee, there was an initiative called the Queen's Green Canopy. And so that was encouraging everyone to plant trees for the environment and for here Jubilee to celebrate it. So we planted 30 trees. And so we had a lovely visit from John Roberts, who was the Deputy Lieutenant of Merseyside. And he came, he was the lead for the Green Canopy. He came, had a look at our trees that we planted, and then we had a wonderful surprise when Her Majesty gave us a special Jubilee tree of trees, which was
He came
outside.
out of uniform, didn't he?
He came out of uniform. He was a bit undercover. Yeah. He was on a secret mission.
Yeah.
And then a little while after that, they announced that Her Majesty was going to give us one of these wonderful trees. There was 350 on this structure, which was the Tree of Tree structure outside Buckingham Palace. And we were very lucky to have one of those on our garden, and it's in pride of place in the therapy garden.
That's amazing. I think I've just been caught drinking water, but that's all right. It's water. So, like, the thing about it is that you also had, wasn't it the Metro Mayor who visited you?
He hasn't visited, but he has given us some fund from the Environmental Fund, the Liverpool City region,
Wait a minute.
to make
Okay,
a pond.
I'm sorry. This is the pond. The
Yeah.
pond, right?
Yeah, a wildlife pond on the
All
garden.
right, all right. So, yes. See, I have a mind map here. Yeah. And everything like that. So when you got all these powerful friends, that you got to put them with the arrows. But go ahead, tell us about this new pond, because this is something new, isn't it?
It is definitely new, yeah. So we want to increase the biodiversity of the plot. We've got no water.
Ooh, biodiversity.
So we want more little newts and frogs and dragonflies. And
Oh my God.
So the pond's going to be completed by May. So we've just dug it out, we've lined it, and all our volunteers are just really enjoying making this a great space.
See, what's amazing is that I think when we talked, I don't know if it was like about a month or so ago, but you know, your project is fairly new in a way, isn't it?
Well, we've been on the garden just a year.
Yeah, and like, but it's growing from strength to strength,
Yeah,
pretty much. It's like you're just a human dynamo. You know what I'm
Dynamo.
saying?
Yeah.
So, like in that aspect, is I think it was at that time you were saying that you would like to have a pond, and now you have a pond.
Now we have a pond, yeah.
And stuff like that, you know. And I just think that's amazing how like you keep moving on, with that. Now there was something else that you were developing and everything, but while my brain tries to figure that out, let's talk about this upcoming event, this High Sheriff Award.
Yes. So
Now, what's really interesting here in England, you know, I know not many people watch from America, but you never know. I'm an American. They have something called the High Sheriff here. And you know what I mean? It's not like Walker, Texas Ranger or something like that.
No.
You know what
She's
I mean?
not carrying, she's not carrying any weapons. No, no, definitely not.
Not packing.
She's not packing. Well, she's packing gold, bro. But so there's an event on 14th of March?
14th of March, she's coming to visit the garden, and she's kindly given us an award for all our volunteer work. So we're really looking forward to having her, and we'll be having some tea and cake with the High Sheriff of Merseyside.
Wow. You got a lot of events coming up. But one's a secret that I was told that I can't tell, you know, because then I'd be killed. All of a sudden it'd be like I'd be on that show network and stuff. Like the lights would turn
Yeah.
off and everything.
Yeah, they have to look at our social media to find out. Keep an eye on our social media.
Oh, see, this is forcing you to watch that social media because they got a really, she said I could say secret royal event coming up.
Yeah.
And everything. But beyond that particular event, there is another event called the Coronation of the King. We know who he is. But what you guys plan on doing is having your own little private celebration. Why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah, over that bank holiday weekend, we're going to have, on one day, so watch our social media, we're going to have our own royal garden party. So we want all the kids to come and dress up as little princess and princes. And
You're going to have teacups and stick their pinkies out.
Yeah. Yeah, and we'll have someone dressed up as the Queen of Hearts, like in Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, maybe a big bunny rabbit.
Ooh, big bunny rabbit. You know what? Phil's been a bunny rabbit once.
Oh, right. Oh, no. So maybe wants to audition for the part. Yeah.
I'm late. Can you just imagine? Nothing. Yeah, so anyway, so that really sounds nice. You know, I mean, what else do you do with the young people? Because you know, I think when we talked last time, like the main thing was getting the kids to do what we used to do as kids, is like interact with nature. And
Yeah,
stuff like
interact with nature, you know, do bug hunts, come down.
Bug hunts.
Yeah, bug hunts. You know, we've got a Jubilee trail, a woodland trail. We've made a bug hotel. So the kids can come along and find bugs and learn about nature and grow things together with some of our older volunteers. So you've got some intergenerational, you know, companionship going on there. So yeah, it's just a place where people can come, relax, communicate with each other, chill out and heal. And it's free. Every Wednesday, come down, we're there.
Now, again, what I said about you having powerful friends, you know, because you must be on the phone all the time, you know, just trying to get support and, you know, managing to get things that other people can't get. Yeah. So, let's talk about some of these people. So, there's a company called Suez UK who donated what?
Yeah, they donated 2 containers for us. One to just put some of our little tools in. You know, we don't have a lot on site, but we have some little tools, some garden rakes. And then we had nowhere to go. When it rained, we just had to all go home if it rained. So in the other container, we've made it into a little space where we can just sit and have a cup of tea and go if it rains. So they've been really, really supportive of us.
How'd you find them?
Well, you know, they found us. They looked at our social media site. They see that we needed help.
This is the importance of telling people on social media what you do.
Yeah, and one of their shift managers is called John Hughes, who's a great friend of us now. He's, you know, he gives us a call and said, "How can we help you?"
Wow.
And so he's been fantastic.
Now, another such organization did the same thing, didn't they? Called the Buckingham Group.
Yeah, they are the contractors for the new Kirkby station, rail station. And so again, as part of their social value, they got in touch with us and they came with their partners, a company called Podtrack and with Merseyrail, and they built us a path right through the garden. Before that, it was quite dangerous for us to walk. It was just up and down, grass, bumps. So we've got a nice path that's a lot safer for us to walk through the garden.
You got any train tracks on it?
No.
Does the garden lead to the train? No, because that's what they do, isn't it? Yeah. So, I mean, it's just, I mean, you know, one would think that, oh, wow, how is that possible? But again, you say both organizations found you. Yeah. And basically, was it like something that you probably presented in your ethos? Or, you know, like how, like, tell us a little bit about your social media, then, like, what do you represent on yourself? Like, is it like what people are doing, what you want to do, what you need?
Yeah, I mean, through the pandemic, we spearheaded our counselling service. So we did that online, and we did blogs online, gardening blogs, how to manage your mental health blogs. Nice. That continues, but we also now have what's going on in the garden. So we'll highlight what our volunteers are doing, how we're developing the garden, and any events that we're holding.
That's really nice. I mean, it's not like you're giving away the secrets of the universe, but it's just a factor that, you know, sometimes you just have to take the risk because, like, you don't know what you're going to get, do you?
No.
You know what I mean? So when people approach you, it's just a matter of kind of like they're just interested in what you're doing, and if you're just saying, this is what we're doing.
Yeah, people are just kind, they want to help, you know. They know that we're helping people with mental health. You know, we're trying to bring the community together. And so companies, if they can, will try to help us, and we're really grateful for that.
Now, you know, also too is that, like, you know, when you talk about counseling services and everything, or one-to-ones, you know, supporting people with mental health, this is also in a way like a social prescribing project, would you say?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Which is why, kind of like you had made links and collaborations with Care Merseyside.
Yeah, we work very closely with Care Merseyside, who are a social prescribing charity. I know you had Kathy here
Yeah,
telling you about
yeah. I
them.
mean, shout out to Kathy Connolly
Yeah.
and Care Merseyside and everything else like that. But, it's really good to know that, like, they whoever they encounter, it's like, hey, do you like gardening, or maybe do you want to do some more outside stuff? Like,
Yeah.
if I'm a shut in, or if I'm at home alone,
Yeah.
it's like, well, we happen to know of a project that does, outside work
Yeah.
and thing and stuff like that. So, it's just an amazing thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what I have here is right is origin story, because I was thinking I was asking you like, uh, um, what is your origin story to this project? And basically, I know that you're like, a person who works in mental health and all that kind of stuff, and like you have a job. But basically, I was really just thinking about where's your love for gardening come from?
Well, I bought a house maybe 20 years ago, and the garden,
What?
a new house, and the garden had never been touched. It was actually in Kirkby. It was just a small garden, never been touched,
Yeah.
just grass. And so I started making a garden, and I realised that it was just good for my mental health to be outdoors.
Yeah.
I just loved it. I just felt
Get the
calmer.
big hat and stuff.
Yeah, big hat, digging, And it's not all about physical work, Sometimes you can just be sitting out in the garden or just doing some light weeding or whatever, and it just raises your mood so much.
It must be something about growing seeds, though. Obviously, it's not something I would think about, but it's something I could kind of like imagine
Yeah.
the feeling of like when I just buried some seeds a couple of weeks ago, and then now they're like strawberries or
Yeah.
tomatoes.
There's a magic to it, definitely.
Is it?
Yeah, yeah, definitely, yeah.
I don't know nothing about it. That's why I was kind
Yeah,
of
there's a magic to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're growing the seeds and you're caring for the seeds. And sometimes when you're caring for something else, that also helps your mood. And then, growing them and then you're eating them on your plate, fresh food, free. A packet of seeds is maybe £2. You're going to get a lot of strawberries for that.
The amazing thing about nature is what I'm just thinking is it's just fascinating to me, like how that can all happen. Now, I've asked a question and then you kind of say there's no real difference, but I think there is, maybe to the layman. And so that was like, what's the difference between gardening and an allotment?
Well, we think the community aspect allotment, they've got a lot of people there coming together for one benefit, to grow things, to socialise, to share knowledge.
You got sheds.
Got sheds.
You're building, you got your beds of food,
Yeah.
So you're providing and stuff like that. But when you're gardening, it's just kind of like, it's more of a solo activity, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a solitary thing if you're just doing it yourself, but it doesn't have to be because there's community is there, everyone, these websites, these Facebook sites, these television series, these are
What do you mean
community of
television
growers.
series?
Well, there's lots of television series on gardening, which are very popular.
I guess there are.
These
That stuff that comes on the
clubs, these
BBC.
gardening clubs all across the country. Gardener's Question Time,
Oh,
Gardener's
what are you
World.
watching, Phil?
Yeah, Phil.
Gardener's Question Time. I very much doubt that one. But thank you for sharing. And stuff. So as a part to this project of yours, it's like, did you imagine it growing to such an extent? Ooh, look at that. Did you imagine it growing?
No, I hoped it would grow.
Yeah.
But I've learnt new skills along the way. You make some mistakes, but you have some great successes. And for where we are just a year on the garden and the recognition we've had from Her Majesty the Queen, from the High Sheriff of Merseyside, from the people in the community supporting us, has been phenomenal.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but also too is like I always feel that more people need to know about organizations such as yourself, as far as what you're doing, especially when the offer is out there. And like, it is such a uh, help towards people's mental health as far as just being outdoors and stuff like that. So, how can people find the Eco Therapy Garden
Okay, so we're all on our social media, and we
as
also, as the Eco Therapy Garden,
is it?
Northwest on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, um, professionally on LinkedIn. We're building a website at the moment, so that's in progress. And again, every Wednesday we're open from 12 till 4 o'clock. We're in Ebony Way in Kirkby, at the back of the Medical and Community Centre.
Yeah, and I mean, and it's growing. Less of a wilderness, more of a pond. Um, as what they have now and everything. So, I mean, is carrots the only thing that you're growing?
No, we grow all kinds of fruit and vegetables. We're going to try and plant some native plants as well. Pond plants, trees. We've got the Mersey Forest coming on the 11th of March in the morning, and we're planting a mini forest.
Oh, you're planting a mini forest.
A mini forest.
What's a mini forest?
Well, it's a smaller forest than a bigger forest. It's smaller.
Some people might say, Chase, that was an obvious question. But then the thing, I mean, come on. You know what I mean? It's like an enchanted kingdom and stuff. These little small trees.
Yeah, tiny trees. But we'll grow into a forest at good-sized trees within 5 to 7 years, apparently.
Wow.
So, not too long.
Well, you'll be building that wilderness again
Yeah,
that you tried to escape from and everything. Will you think you would expand beyond the plot of land that you have? Because it was only like half an acre, wasn't it?
It is only half an acre, yeah. I think we just want to develop that for the community, but, maybe I might have bigger plans.
Well, there we go. So we're at the end there, Angela. I mean, any thoughts of where those would be? Because, somebody might see this and say, hey, we can help you do that.
Well, maybe we'd like a retreat, an ecotherapy retreat, a bigger plot of land, maybe,
Yeah. I mean, like some kind of night camping.
Yeah, something
And
like
stuff and everything. So it's like, oh. So remember this, huh?
Yeah.
People out there who love Angela. Well, I would like to, first of all, thank you for coming back to us and everything, beyond the mistakes and stumbles and everything, for bringing gifts and everything. And your project, as last time, is exciting. Hopefully, when people find out about that secret event that you're going to, they'll be like, ooh, check her out, and everything else like that. But thank you, Angela, for joining us here once again. So this is Ange Davies from the Eco Therapy Garden. I'm an American. Come on, man, just help me. I'm Chase Chancellor Lynch, and you know what? We out of here.